Good evening, everyone. And my name is Angela Bulmer. I'm the marketing coordinator here at Justine Blainey Wellness Center. And this evening, Dr. Justine is going to walk us through some easy home stretches that's going to prevent back and back injuries. I hope that you enjoy.
Hi, everybody. Dr. Justine here. Just thinking about you and sending our love and our hugs during these challenging times. And I'm finding a lot of people sitting. So today I wanted to go over some stretching to prevent back injuries and to keep our bodies loose when we're obviously feeling so tense. So if we start off right away, one of the things we can do is just reaching like a palm tree, stretching through our back, going from side to side a little bit more, from side to side, to stretch through the length of our backs, and then reaching forward a little bit more each time. And if you have a lower back disc injury, make sure you keep your knees bent as you come forward, stretching through your sides, just a slow motion length of the spine to prevent injuries to our back. And we want to make sure, because we're on the computers forward, watching TV forward, lifting forward, our chest gets so much tighter. So easily stretching like a cross, making sure we don't have our shoulders uneven, which increases our risk of arthritis. So stretching like a cross, thumbs coming to the back to stretch open through our chest, or with our shoulders back, aiming to get our shoulders over our ears over our shoulders, over our hips, to open up through our chest. As we open up through our mid-back, we can open, link our arms together, go from one side to the other side in a gentle way that would be comfortable for you, nothing that would be sore for you. The hip flexors get super tight and they attach to your lower back. Very important for those who have a lot of sitting back injuries and for athletes. We want to work with our hip flexor. So if we take one step forward, tuck our buttocks under, and lunge forward, keeping our shoulders over our hips. If we lean forward, we will not feel the stretch. So leaning and bending our knees, again, pushing our pelvis in the forward direction to make it harder. Bring your arms up or one arm and lean away. So I'm stretching my left hand side, holding that stretch anywhere in the comfort zone, 8 to 15 seconds. If we stretch from the opposite side, can lunge forward, buttock tucked under like a J hook, lean towards your front leg, shoulders come back over our hips, pushing our pelvis forward to stretch our hip flexor, which attaches to our lower back, both arms up, or opposite, leaning away from that stretch side. Or in yoga, you will see like a warrior pose to stretch through your entire front of your hip flexors. You can stretch through your quads. That can be done by grabbing your ankles, but if that's too difficult, you can use a chair by putting your foot on a chair and then just bending down to get the front of your quads, bringing your legs back. Again, pelvis coming forward. This also is a chance to work on your balance and your coordination through the front of your legs. Now, stretching the back of your legs, super important for mechanical low back pain, but it can aggravate you if you have a lower back injury, disc injury. If you've injured your discs, then when you stretch your hamstrings, you want to keep both knees bent. So even the leg that you're stretching, you would keep bent. If you haven't injured your disc injuries, you can have that leg straight, reaching towards your toes, bringing your toes towards your nose to stretch through your lower back. Same thing, switching other side. If you've injured the disc in your back, keep the knees bent, a little bit more buttock stretch. You still get a little bit in your hamstrings, which is back of your leg. But if you haven't injured, you can bring your head more closer to your knee, or just standing, touching the ground, or with a slight knee bend, and then slowly touching, bring it back up. There are things called static stretches versus dynamic stretches. So in many gymnasts, you will see they do dynamic stretching, which is meaning they're doing some bouncing for their stretches versus a static stretch is a stretch and hold. As you're warming up tissues, you might do a gentle bounce, but not through the longest or the hardest range of motion. And as it gets to the farthest part of the hardest part of the stretch, then you can work towards a slower static stretch. You have to be very careful with dynamic stretching because you can cause injury. So even when you're stretching your neck from side to side, dynamic stretching would be side to side without holding the stretch, turning from right to left. Just have to do 5 or 6, both sides, up and down, and that's called dynamic stretching versus when you do a stretch and hold. I call this the monkey stretch. Get your arms out like a monkey, go ear down, and then the opposite side, ear down. What's normal for your range of motion in your neck is that your ears should go all the way to your shoulders almost. And then you should be able to turn all the way to see that suicide path all the way behind you without turning your back. If you do have loss of range of motion, definitely something to work on for driving a car, but also signs of degeneration, subluxation complex in your top part of your neck. Again, coming back to your lower back, I wanted to go to the floor. You can do this I'm in my living room floor. And one of the things that we can do is the buttocks. So bringing your leg across, opposite arm to opposite knee, and stretch and hold. Again, not bringing your chin down, but chin up, holding your upper back because this is to protect your lower back. This is not something you do quickly because you don't want that twist in your lower back to hurt it further. So it's just a nice slow movement to stretch through your buttocks. If you're stretching your hamstrings and you do not have a disc injury, you can put your legs straight out and then just reach forward and you will stretch through your lower back and through the back of your legs. Bring your toes up, you'll get more of a stretch in your calves, but then careful again if you have a disc injury. The lower back stretch tool that's good for everybody, you can do this in bed or laying on the floor, or just when you're watching TV, is your arm and your leg go opposite directions, and that way you'll stretch it through your buttocks and your leg, and again, the opposite side, and you'll feel it through your buttocks and your lower back. If you do hear some of those little popping sounds, that can be just the gas being released in those joints. Not to worry, as long as you're not whipping your knee, whipping your leg to alternate sides. We want to make sure we're helping you. Send us questions, watch our different webinars, and if you have questions, we are offering free virtual chats by FaceTime, Skype, or just a phone call, old-fashioned phone call. We are there to help you in these difficult times, and we want the very best for you, and we look forward to seeing you soon.